Hello, this is your arbitrator of fate. You know, it's your King Ginger. Let's go around the table. Everybody, tell me what you last remember, your character's name, and what is happening with you. Also, introduce yourselves, of course.
All right, I'm Nature D&D Ringer playing Otterkin Rogue Warlock Swig Swift Strike. Last time on D&D, I was tired of this shit. I didn't want to be in the giant thing being attacked by hands that were following me, so I just ran the fuck away.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm playing Charity Momart, a human artificer. And the last thing that happened to Charity is she decided to go home and confront someone with intention of solving a problem and created a larger problem. And now, eh?
I'm Cassandra. I play Amulet Sticky Fingers, who is a Kender barbarian. And the last thing I remember was flaming skeletons jumping down at us.
I'm Warrior. I am wearing a new shirt. And I'm playing Eric, a Oath of Redemption paladin. Last we saw Eric, he was holding an angel's guts inside of her body, kind of helping that effort.
All right. So let's start off trying to think where I want to start. There's so much going on, so much goodness to happen. Let's start with Eric. Eric, you are trying to keep Bliss from just bleeding out, basically. You make your way over to the Heartless just as it's stepped on. You hear screams abound. You see the erstwhile siblings of your friends dying in droves. You see a person you recognize as a paladin run up the broken mast, carrying a glowing sword, jumping off in the middle of a prayer, disintegrated. Only his weapon clattering to the broken stone below. You see a human digging through piles of rubble and crates, pick up a violin, strikes the violin, and starts to furiously play. And even though there's no real sky here, you see lightning come firing out as a soft song plays in the background as it strikes this juggernaut repetitively. And the faster he plays, the more lightning comes down, but the more he can't stop playing until lightning strikes him, and all that's left is the violin on the floor smoking. You see half-elf paladin. Oh, excuse me, I already said that. Sorry. You you see a Fearbog stepped on. You can hear the crunch and splat of bones as this thing continues to just shuffle along the landscape. Further across the way, you see a another human trampled underfoot of mimics, moving in a herd. They all look like buildings, changing shape, running on thousands of tiny legs that just in their utmost fear and almost like a herd of cattle just running over them. At that moment, you take stock and you do see that some of the crew of the Heartless are obviously they're gone. They're just not there. You look up and you see like a doorway drawn, a circular doorway drawn in the side of the ship. It shouldn't be there, but it's there. It's half open. And laying on the ground in front of it is Drott, who's half in, half out, but the half that's out is laying about 5 feet away from the half that's in. It's utter chaos. And the thing you catch is as your friends run to the foot of this beast, you see the older brother of Akko be disintegrated. And then you see them all disappear. Minutes pass. You can't find Presto. You can't find. Everything is mass chaos ringing in your ears. Your shield is basically keeping, even though it's cracked and beat up, it's basically keeping things from destroying you any further or just killing anyone around you. But you don't know how much longer you can hold this up. And you look over, and Kellic looks at you and he grasps your arm and he just starts to age. And he says, "Oh, I believe Akko's dead," and then just falls backwards.
Like, is Kellic dead? I'll go check to see if Kellic is dead.
No, but he is back to his original age.
Okay, I'll slap his face a little bit, both for funsies and to wake him up.
He doesn't look very good.
Well, he's old.
As all this is going on, you're kind of looking around frantically and you see this, you hear it first, and then you see this green tendril of energy sprout out the side of one of the buildings and from beneath the floor of one of the wrecked open house.
Like
just,
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna like, is it like an energy tendril, like a plant, like a?
It's a tendril of energy. It's
Okay.
like a green glowing energy that's
Okay.
just kind of emanating out and just kind of spilling out into nothing. Like it gets so far and then starts to just dissipate. What do you want to do?
Wow. Eric, he sort of pats Kellic on the shoulder and says, we made a bad choice. We made the worst choice. Bad choice. We gotta go. He'll stand up, and Bliss is Bliss still there, or is Bliss also lost in the chaos?
Bliss is, you were there the
Sauce.
whole time, so you were able
Okay.
to protect Bliss. You've got Bliss with you. You've got Ungol's son.
Okay.
And you've got Jabril the Penniless with you.
Perfect.
Everybody else.
Super team.
Jabril is also unconscious.
Perfect.
And
Even better.
you see that part of the helm that he wears to operate the Spelljammer throne is crushed. And he just looks like the lights are on, but no one's home.
Oh.
Oh, you know what else was with you? I'm sorry, I forgot. Nargaz and her clutch, as well as he who is many.
Okay. Eric is going to it is the so is the house being consumed, subsumed by this energy tendril,
No,
or
it
is
just
that
looks
just
it looks like it's just kind of sprouted out, like it's almost like it would be like a tendril of a vine, but at the end it
okay,
just starts to trail off into, like it doesn't have enough power to go any further.
sure?
It's this soft green light.
Okay.
Like when even
And
looking at it, it makes
mhm,
you, it gives you a positive vibe.
okay. And the Colossus thing is walking away from the open house,
Yes. It's
and
crushing everything else.
the open house is the only house that isn't
Running.
moving.
There are some other houses that aren't, but most of them have been devastated.
The vibe seems to be like this might be a normal house. Okay. Eric is
Our
going
house is a very, very,
very,
very
very fine
fine
house.
house.
It's fine. It's fine. Eric is going to um, tell the awake people to take the not awake people into the open house. And he says, he's like, I'm going to be right back. And he runs over to where the glowing sword fell on the ground.
Make me a perception check really quick.
Okay. What is my perception? 12.
As you start to sprint away, you catch out of the corner of your eye, Nargaz basically like leans over Bliss and just vomits onto her open wound.
I'm going to deal with that later. And and
Remember, Nargaz is a swordling.
yeah, he's doesn't know what that is. He doesn't know what any of this is. He's just like, I'm gonna go get that sword because if I'm
Gods,
the
I wish I was
protector,
back in Pasadena.
he wishes he was back at post Pasadena Kingdom, whatever it was called. I like the idea that they just didn't care about the place that they landed enough that they just never bothered to name it. They were just like, it's just here.
I think it
Whatever.
was just called the Realms.
Yeah,
Because at that point, Forgotten Realms was a thing. So I think on the
Sure.
cartoon, they just called it the Realms.
Yeah, I was thinking about it earlier. Of like, is it just literally called Dungeons and Dragons Land because they rode the Dungeons and Dragons roller coaster into a land? So, yeah, he'd rather be back in Dungeons and Dragons Land even, but he feels like if he's the only currently like able-bodied individual here, although he is not super into fighting, he understands that like seems like a normal ass longsword is not going to do the job here, so he's going to go see if he can't upgrade.
Okay.
Then he'll deal with the vomit later. Probably, maybe not. He'll probably delegate.
Okay. So you're just trying to get to that sword?
He wants to get to the sword. I mean, like, if the path is like, what does the path look like to this sword? Is it super far away?
No, it's actually pretty easy to get there.
Okay.
This guy got like halfway up this mast and ready to jump and then just got disintegrated.
Sure. So yeah, he wants to go get it.
Okay, yeah, it's just clattering. It's kind of slightly glowing.
Okay.
So you just want to pick it up?
Yeah. He just 1 sec. He'll I don't know if that really works. He'll as he approaches it, he'll use divine sense to see if there's like a good or evil vibe or no vibe.
There's no good or evil vibe on it, but there is a definitive vibe of law.
Going.
Or order, I should say.
Sure, going. Done. Paladin order school.
So you yoink it, you pick it up.
He picks it up. Yeah, it drops cut in half. So
it's very light, even though it's a big sword. And you can hear a voice. You're not Roland. Who are you? And why have you sought to steal me?
I'm Eric. I'm here to protect everybody from the giant building robot that's killing everything, and the smaller building robots that are killing everything else.
Eric, is it?
Eric, yes, Eric.
My
Love the
name
last
is
name.
Jerry. Pleasure to meet you.
Jerry. Nice to meet you, Jerry.
Jury.
Jerry.
Jury.
Jerry.
Jury. I could see how you could make that mistake.
Sure. With the way you say it, it sounds like Jerry.
Are you making
jury.
fun of my speech?
No, I'm just saying that that's what it sounds like.
So, Eric, is it?
Eric.
If we're going to, now that it looks like Roland is simply just a pile of ash, and is Godspeed to his next life. Eric, by the power invested in me, do you promise to enforce the law, all the things that are lawful, and to the betterment of civilization, as well as to the betterment of the good of the omniverse?
Yeah, I feel like I already made this.
Excellent. So. Then, as the power vested in me by the multiverse, I now pronounce you wielder of the weapon. Congratulations. We'll have plenty of time to go through a tutorial later.
Do I kiss you now?
Yes, please do.
This is the sword.
Yep. No tongue.
No, like gross.
But thank you for consent.
It's a chase.
Yeah. So
yeah, he takes the sword and runs back to the house.
All right. As you're running, Jury goes, I would be remiss to tell you, Eric, but the fight is the other way.
Yeah, that is a fight I'm not going to win. There are a lot of hurt people back here. We're sheltering them in the house, which is good.
Wait.
I'm doing good.
Well, fair. We can discuss the merits of your actions later, but fine.
I didn't take an oath to do the best.
You did.
Did I? I didn't hear that word in the oath. Good and
lawful. We
good and lawful.
We can go over the remainder of the details later, and if I find you
I don't know the law here.
Unsuitable, then I will simply just stop working.
Okay, what are you doing right now, other than talking? How are you working? I don't know how you work. How do you work?
I'm a sword.
Okay. Can you stop working as a sword? Like,
yes.
Couldn't I still stab things with you if you stop working?
No, I can stop working. Eric, how smart
are you? I'd say like average +1.
Eric, I'm much smarter than you. And if I so choose, and if I feel you're not doing what I want, I'll simply just take your body.
I don't feel like that was in the oath either. I feel like there's a lot of
small print.
It wasn't printed. It was a verbal oath, so you can't.
Whose fault is it that you didn't read the small print, Eric?
There's nothing to read.
Not my fault.
Where is it? Is it
You're
on
the one who picked me up.
I did.
You just assumed
there was
that
nothing
you
to
had
read.
ownership. You know, 9/10 being the law and all of that.
To be honest, you kind of rushed through the ceremony. I mean, if we're talking formality and doing our best, I feel like you sort of phoned that in.
My previous.
I know what a phone is because I'm from Pasadena.
I don't know what you're saying now. Where are we going?
We're going over to the house. We're going to go help people.
Eric, what is that? And the sword pulls you towards the green energy.
I don't know. It's not mine. It was like that when I got here.
I feel like we should find out what that is.
Well, it's where we're going, so we can go that way.
Oh, I didn't turn it on yet, and your sword lights up, and all of a sudden, you get this feeling, and you see all the little. You basically think about it like in a video game when you can see the alignment of everyone else, plus, minus, and then just like a bar showing equal. So you're like, oh, I can kind of see what everyone's alignment is. As far as good and evil, you're like, oh God.
Wow, what a cool feature.
The green glow is double plus goods. So you're like, oh. And the sword kind of
really good.
Jerks you in that direction.
Okay, you don't have to push. I'm going. I told you I'd do it.
Well, I'm used to someone
Are you somebody to establish trust?
Used to someone older, who I had a rapport with.
Okay, well, I used to be older.
Sometime you're going to have to explain that to me.
Sure.
You're very confusing.
I don't feel like I'm confusing. I feel like I've been pretty straightforward with you, honestly.
Maybe I'm just in shock from Roland being
Sure.
disintegrated.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just are you ancient? Are you
Yes.
a new set? Oh, you're ancient.
No,
Okay.
I've been around for a long time.
Okay, sure. Well, I've been around for a while.
Green glow.
Yeah, we can go.
You run
That's where we were already going.
towards the green glow, and you can see there's multiple holes here leading down, but there's only one with a tendril pushing up through it. It's a very, very bright emerald with like an even brighter unnatural green inside of it, like kind of as the structure of it. You look through another hole and you look down, and there's this massive green ball of energy slowly spinning. And you see another tendril out, and it is pushed up against a small field of energy between that and Valia. And there seems to be some type of collision there. As you look down as well, you see another one of your friend's siblings lying down on the ground, spitting blood up. And you see a skeleton fire dog like sitting beside her.
Okay, and like, is Valia like super red? I'm assuming red is the negative color here.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, yellow is like, yeah, you're neutral.
Yeah, I was thinking about like little signs beside their head, little glowing signs.
Little ethics stoplight. And is the sibling that's coughing up blood near the fire dog? What?
Green, they're right
yellow?
below the green ball, off to like one side a little bit. Theirs would be yellow,
okay.
as is the bony fire dog.
It seems like the green energy is trying to get this red lady.
You can't tell if it's trying to get her or if it's just trying to stop her, but there's definitely conflict there.
Well, I'll pop on down to see what's going on there. And
maybe an athletics check, please.
Sure. Oh, my athletics is not as good as that goes. 5.
You pop on down there, and on your way down there, you fall on some rubble, slip and slide, and land on your ass. You're like, but you don't take any damage. It's not so bad that you're hurt, but you're like, okay, that was not graceful. You're also kind of banged up, so it's just kind of like, this is all a lot. This is all a lot. The swirling heads that are inside this energy ball turn and look at you, and you see there's like a chorus of beautiful faces.
What's the deal here, tour guide? That's you.
These are Shadu.
And what do Shadu?
You should pay very much respect to these beings.
Done and done. Should I like attack this lady? Like, it seems like they don't like her.
My advice would be to ask them what they want.
What do you want?
And this chorus of voices washes over you and says, "Are you here to take us home?"
Maybe. I don't know. Am I doing that? Am I supposed to do that?
And Jury answers back, "Do you have a way to the astral sea?"
No, not even remotely.
Well, then no.
My friend who could do that is apparently dead, so that sucks. No, I can't do that.
Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Okay. 29.
When you say that, there is a moment just a split second before you like hold it all together again, where you realize your friend is dead. You know, the person you trusted, the person you became very close with very quickly, um, that you admired their spirit and their zest for life. You admired a lot about them. You saw a lot of what you wished you would have been the first time around as a youth. Um, and they're gone. And you don't know why or how, but definitively they're dead. And for a second, it hits you. And you know that when you were younger, you would have wilted at this point. But with the experience, the years of experience you had before you were um, given the good fortune to become young again, and have this life over again, you kind of use that well of strength to steel yourself. But there is that moment, and even jury can feel that, like that there's this moment of mournful, like soul searing, mournful loss that you know that, you know, especially after what happened to you before you got young again. Um, this is, you got things to work on, you got things to unpack, but your your years have let you realize that like not now. Now is not the time for that to happen. Now I've got to do this. Um, so
Okay.
you kind of shake it off, and you're less completely blown away by the um, cosmic forces that are looking at you in chorus with detached hope.
Um,
Oh, you cannot take us home.
not right now.
Neither could the small one.
The small one.
Yes, there was a small human, I believe that's what they're called. You are human, yes?
Yeah, I'm human.
Mm.
I think still probably. Yeah.
She tried to help us against the prisoner, the being who killed us and then left us in this state.
Red lady over there.
Yes,
Okay.
she is a pox upon all life.
Well, guess
Is
I got the
this
jury,
is
so I
this
guess
your is this yours? And they all turn and look at Nigella on the floor as well as the flaming bone dog.
sorry, who's saying that? The energy?
The chorus, yeah.
No, no, I've never seen either of those things in my life. So I don't know. It was down here. Maybe they were under the house already. Maybe they got stepped
Oh,
on. Maybe
we thought perhaps they were your friends.
I don't know these people.
Hmm. Well, she will die soon.
Oh, well, I can put a pin in that. And he'll go he'll do lay on hands on
So
Nigella.
you move over to Nigella and the dog stands up and it's big. Um, and
Good dog.
you think it growls at you, but all you can really hear is the sound of like crackling of embers and the sound of like rattling bones when it does.
Oh, he's sound like what we play on the TV at Christmas. He'll
What is Christmas?
it's a holiday.
Ah,
And where I'm from, it's a holiday. Yeah, you get presents at school.
I like the name. It is very soothing. Or I should say,
Yeah,
we like the name. It is very soothing.
yeah, well, yeah, it's pretty soothing. Yeah, it's a good time for most people. So
Will you
yeah, he's
give
just gonna
us? Will you
hmm,
give us this Christmas?
like give you the idea of Christmas, or like I can tell you what it is. Can you
Will
work
you
with that?
share
Or
this with us?
yeah, sure. It's a holiday. It happens in December, which is a
A
month where
little
I'm
green
from.
tendril reaches out towards you. Jury
He'll
goes,
oh,
normally
oh
I would tell you that you should not accept tendrils into your life.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to help
This
you.
particular case, Eric, I would advise that
Eric.
you assist the tendril.
Eric has seen EG. He does EG phone home with the tendril.
You experience in fast forward, like ultra fast forward on your Betamax, every Christmas you've ever been through. Every moment from the first Christmas when you were a baby to the last Christmas you spent. And there you become awash in that moment with like a sense of joy. You currently have the effects of a bless spell on you.
That was amazing. You are
You
an
have shared
amazing energy collective. Look at you.
you have shared something very beautiful with us, and we appreciate that.
Never shared anything like that with anybody. That was amazing. Thank you for
ten-
sharing that with me.
Another small tendril goes down and sweeps over Nigella, and she sits upright and spits and just goes, "Oh my God. Oh, hey, do I know you?"
No.
All right, back inside the Cataclysm engine. You two see skeletons just on fire flying down at you. There's some skull spiders crawling down the walls. And you're looking down and you can see Charity's mech not moving.
Do we see Charity?
You do not.
Do we see splattered humanes?
Humanes.
Remains. Human remains. I put two
There's
words
your
together.
name of the episode.
I put two words
Warrior.
together.
Do I see do I see humanes?
Oh
Made sense to me.
no.
Oh, so good. No, you do not see any human remains. You do see bones and pieces of spider and other things out there. It's fair.
Good title. Is it further to go down than to go up?
Depending on where you're going up to.
I mean, like all the way up? Probably, yeah. Because we're like what? Thigh, hip section?
A little above the knee, yeah.
Above the knee. Twig, what do you want to do?
Also, both of you make dexterity saving throws as flaming skeletons jump down at you.
Flaming skeletons.
13.
Oh, I got advantage on dex checks. Oh, and I rolled good. 21.
Amulet, you're able to easily just dodge these as they fall. Twig, you catch some fire and some debris as one slams up against the railing and explodes. So you take 3 points of damage. I'm gonna have to pat yourself out. You can see this swarm of spiders is starting to make its way down. I need you both to make me another dexterity saving throw, please.
Is there any like enemies below us?
No, not currently that you can see.
Oh, that's not as good. It's an 11.
23.
Okay.
Switch.
Amulet, you take 5 psychic damage as in the stairwell above you, this swirling black erupts with a scream, and out of it steps a gnoll dressed in black armor, polished black armor inlaid with bone, carrying a massive 2-headed axe. Looks down at you and says, "Where Echo?"
That's a good question.
Is this someone I've seen before?
You know me, we friend. Echo friend you. I come for Echo.
Come to.
As he says this, he's just smashing spiders with his axe.
Is he? Can I tell if he's friendly to Echo or?
Yeah, you can make me an insight check.
Do I seriously? I don't even know if I recognize him. Like, I'm trying to remember. Oh God, my insight's terrible. That's a 10. That's a 10.
This being reminds you of Akko, like to a frightening degree, like
Yeah.
almost a carbon copy of Akko, some would say. Maybe even, I don't know, what would you call that? What would be the word for that? I can't think of a word what this would be like,
Some sort of shadow duplicate.
or maybe an echo.
Ah, there you go.
Oh shit. I
I
mean,
looked for Akko. He disappeared on map.
yeah, he hella disappeared. I don't know where he is.
Me neither.
You need help. Too
So much help.
small, too weak.
Yeah.
I'm not weak.
He looks at you. He catches a spider diving for his head and crushes it in his hand.
Is there something around here for me to
Weak.
hit?
You're
There's
still
something-
weak.
Is there something around for me to hit? I need to prove myself.
Oh God, don't hit me.
Not Twig. I don't want to hit Twig.
You want to say that?
No, I'm looking for. I'm asking
He'll
you.
help you find something to hit.
No, I want to find something on my own to hit and prove myself. But I'm not.
Yeah, there's another flaming skeleton like diving down at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it.
You're like gonna one punch man it as it flies down at you.
Yup. And I rolled the 19. So if I'm just punching it, it's 22.
You take 2 points of damage, but it explodes.
Worth it.
And this Noel looks at you and goes, could do better. And then rushes up the stairs towards where these things are launching themselves, setting themselves on fire. And then looks back after about 10 double to triple step of stairs. He's jumped through like, a small child trying to get up the stairs as fast as possible and says, you coming or too slow?
Oh, let's go, Twig. I can't.
Do we see anything else down where Charity's mech is?
Just piles of bone.
No, like mist or anything like that?
No, not currently. Excuse me. Oh, man.
You looking for blood spray? Is that what's going on?
No, you do not see a red mist either.
Should we get the mech?
I think the mech is bigger than we can carry. It's
Why?
like big.
I mean, we can figure out buttons.
Can you?
I don't think I can. And
Somewhere-
I think
Somewhere in the back of my head, Charity's like, no.
I think the amount of time to go down and come back up and
I mean, you can make it go for it, Twig, if you want.
Yeah.
So Twig just turns around and goes, bye, and starts sprinting down the stairs to get to the mech.
I'll be right back.
Emil, what are you doing?
I'm gonna yell at Twig to meet us at the top.
Okay. So Emil, you put it in cruise and you start chugging behind this Knoll who's just smashing his way through these skeletons. You can hear him. You've never really heard Akko laugh like hyena laugh. This person is just cackling joyfully as this goes on. And then gets to the two skeletons who are setting skeletons on fire, and then grabs them one at a time and holds them over the ledge as they hack at him and drops them. And then stops, looks at you, goes, here, fall. And then you hear them clang as you see them falling, Twig.
Oh boy.
He leans over and he says, go for eyes. So he's standing there with you, Amulet, and he looks at you and he reaches out and he touches your shoulders and he looks and says, no.
Oh, I'll transform as I'm running up. So I'll
When
rage.
you look him in the eyes, for a moment, he picks up his bone helm and it looks identical to Akko.
That's so weird.
He looks at you and says, I know, right?
So weird.
I go find Akko or like he's not sure how to complete that.
Yeah.
And then he looks at you and he says, "You go there," and points up. You figure right now you're about at the waist.
The waste. Oh God.
You've smashed a whole bunch of stuff.
Is he
going on.
sending me on my own though? Is he not coming with?
I find Echo.
Well, let's go up. Maybe he's up there.
He sniffs the air. No. And then he takes his axe and he begins smashing it into the wall until there's a handhold and he rips open some of the wall. I go there.
Shit.
Bye. And he starts trying to fit himself through this hole that he's made. Twig, you've made your way down. You had to make some dodgy spots to get around where that hole in the stairwell was, but you get down to the mech.
All right. I'm going to sit in the mech, and then I'm going to look at all of the buttons.
You look at all of them and you're like, oh, okay. Make me an Arcana check.
Oh, that's a lot of buttons.
You're in your mind, you're thinking, why didn't Charity put directions on these?
Are there pictures on the buttons?
No, there's not.
There's no pictures, but there's like one sticky note that's just got like a really angry looking smiley face next to an ominous looking button.
Oh boy. I want to save that button for later. Sticky note.
This is a relevant note for later. Exactly.
Also, before this other Knoll completely leaves, he sticks his head back through the hole, looks at you, Amulet, and he says, if friend come looking for me, tell him I would find Echo. I do what I want. And then stomps off.
You don't know me.
Well, okay.
All right, so that was I rolled an 18. That's a +2, so 20 total.
You think you know how to start it.
That's where to begin.
You can fly a ship, so
It's true. But a giant flying magical ship is different than a mech.
I'm just saying
I don't
he's
know.
got skills.
Okay, so you're gonna try to fire it up?
If you can fly a ship, you can drive a mech. Yeah, I'm gonna
You
start
can
it up.
dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench.
Exactly.
All right. It kind of like rumbles and then kind of just starts to move, but you're not sure how to operate any of it. But it's kind of on now.
All right. Is there like a little control helmet that I have to put on, or is it all levers and pulleys?
Charity, you can explain this because I always thought it was just levers and buttons.
It's
Like,
levers and buttons. There's
I
no
didn't see
other.
you like putting your
Yeah.
hands inside like
There's no like Pacific
Ellen-
Rim. The
Ellen
robots.
Ripley, lifter droid.
No, there's no like Pacific Rim. The robots powered by love situation going on. So
Wow.
All science.
All right. What are you doing, Twig?
I'm gonna pull some levers and see what happens.
There's your title. He tried his Gundam back.
That's not as good. That's if I'm still doing Arcana, that's a 12.
Yeah, you think you figured out how to walk for a second, but instead you stumble forward and now it's leaning against the wall.
Oh boy. I might get this eventually. I don't suppose I can add my helmsman roll to this.
Sure, let's test it out. See what happens.
And then
Go for it.
everyone's in the middle of chaos. Meanwhile, Twig's having an Oculus like spree. How do I beat Saber?
Seriously. So the roll that I got is not real pretty.
Tell me more about your not pretty roll.
I don't want to break the mech.
Well,
so
we don't want to do a lot of things in Dungeons and Dragons, Twig.
yeah.
But the rolls dictate decisions.
I I think Charity might have to fix this when she gets back because it's real bad.
What'd you roll?
That's a 1.
Oh, so you try to like pull the lever to stand back up straight, and the lever breaks.
Oh,
And you're like,
that's
oh,
not
and
good.
you're trying to like put it back. And when you put it back, you slot it in too far past where it broke off, and you can hear it like grind in there. And you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then you hear a bump, 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 smoke just kind of emanating out of the back of it, and it just dies.
All right, I'm gonna leave it here. She can come back and get it. She knows where it is. I hope. And then I'm gonna run up the stairs.
Okay.
Oh no.
Twig, you can have an inspiration for that.
Too bad I didn't have that before.
That very apocalypse world style failure.
Let this be a lesson to people that are able-bodied. Never mess with the disabled person's mobility aids. This is why.
Fair.
Reagan.
So Twig, as you're heading up, Amulet, you're going to keep going, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you head up, Amulet, and you run into a couple skeletons, and they're coming at you.
I'm gonna smash them.
Tell me how you're smashing them and give me some rolls. please.
I'm gonna swing at them with my axe, but while swinging, I'm gonna try to knock them over the edge.
Okay. Roll me initiative real quick.
Oh,
Don't roll a 1. That's all you got to do. Don't make a twig.
well, I didn't roll a 1, but that really wasn't that great though either.
Did you beat a 1? 'Cause
I
it's all
did.
you had to do.
But I rolled a 6, so it wasn't by much.
So you're going first.
Sweet. Okay, well, I got 2 attacks. So I wasn't I rolled 2 11s, which makes them 17s.
Oh, they both hit.
Oh, 18s. They're 18s. For 26.
You smash the first one and the second one. I want you to make me 2 dexterity saving throws.
I got bonus on that because I'm
You're gonna need it.
raging. Oh, that's a 13
Nope.
and that's a 19.
19's good. The 13 is not. You take 9 points of piercing damage as when you hit at the skeleton to destroy it, the skeleton exploded into shards.
Well, there goes my 10 pin points I just got 10 seconds ago.
Also, if I remember right, you would only take half damage from these.
Oh, shoot. That's right.
So you're sprinting your way up and you come to a portcullis that is down. You think you're probably navel high?
Wait, it's down?
Mhm.
But what's navel high?
You think you're about on the navel.
Oh, I'm on the robot. I thought you were talking about the porculus. The last time there was an open door, there was bad things on the other side. Can I just take 1 second to see if I hear anything? I know there's a lot of noise around though, so.
You're going to need to roll this at perception at disadvantage.
Okay. Worth it. Let's try it. I rolled a 15 and an 18. So my perception would be 18.
You definitely hear things on the other side.
A lot of things.
Well, yeah, but you kind of expected that.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. I have a thing. Where's my book?
I have a thing for a lot of things.
I have a thing. I have a book. I have a book of cards. And how big of a space am I standing on?
10 feet.
That's too small for an elephant, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to grab into my bag with my left hand, and I'm going to pull out 3 skeleton bones. I'm going to throw them on the ground.
On your side of the portcullis or on the other side of the portcullis?
I can't do. I have to open it before I can throw him on the other side, right?
No, it's like portcullis is like
I'm picturing the wrong thing.
it's like bars and bars across. You can see
Oh.
through it.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'll throw him through.
Okay.
I'll
You
throw
have
him
3
through.
skeletons that activate on the other side.
I'm really make sure they know they need to smash whatever they can get their hands on. And
Okay, then they just head towards the noise until they're out of sight.
I am going to try to open that door. I guess I'm gonna try to lift it up.
All right, make me a athletics check, please.
Let's try to remember how many skeletons I had left. Oh, that's not bad. 17.
You're able to lift this massive gate and you get it to about your neck, and that's, you can't seem to push it any higher. Like you're just out of lift. You know, try to pull a fancy move and get underneath it.
Is there anything around here?
To find anything.
Like a rock or
you're inside a giant robot now.
A piece of a robot or something?
No.
I'm more thinking like I'm gonna put something underneath it just so Twig can
I know
get
what
through.
you're thinking, but no.
I wanna let Twig get through. Maybe he can squeeze through the bars.
Wait for me.
There are also
is
things that you're not really thinking about right now. So while you hold this up and wait for Twig, we're gonna jump over and you wake up. It's been a while since you've been awake. And you look around and the workshop it looks wrong. And you look over and the door's open. And that's a no-no. That should never be open. That's one of the rules. We close doors when we open them. You don't want the riffraff inside. But you catch light of what's over there. And it's father. But it's just the upper half. And there's a look on his face that you think is something called dead. He's no longer activated. His spark is gone. Beyond that, you hear a din, a cacophony of noise like you've never heard before. You spent the vast majority of your time here in the workshop. Is this what the outside world looks like? And if it is, why did he ever go there? This is terrifying. What would you like to do?
Where is father exactly?
You see the upper torso is like just inside where the door is. You don't see the lower torso.
I close his eyes. And I'm going to go through the portal to find what did this to him.
You step through. You close his eyes. And when you close his eyes, there is a moment where you almost feel like he gives you as you're closing his eyes, there's like this slight smile of pride. You feel like he's still looking at you, even though you know he no longer is activated. And You look out, you take your step out of the portal. And when you do so, and you look back, there's no portal anymore. It's just a hole in the side of this vessel.
Is there anything here?
About 10 feet away, you see his lower body. His tools, belt, his pants, shoes. You look a little bit over to the left and you see a massive construct smashing through everything. You see other bodies and you see disaster all around you. You look to your right, about 10, 15 feet away. You see a small group of strange looking, activated, huddled around each other. And they catch sight of you, and most of them cringe away, like they're just not sure. But they are, for the most part, except for maybe one or two, they look to be activated. They look to be functioning.
I'll look at them.
You put your hand up and across your chest. Um, and they all kind of stop, and you can see like they maybe perception check actually.
Okay. That's going to be a 13.
Um, considering you really only have father to go off of, um, it's hard to get a firm reading because you only saw very specific emotions from him. The only other person you can think of recently was the small, loud one that came into the workshop, who was just loud, so loud, but had some of the same characteristics, which you kind of feel like you're doing, which is being inquisitive, and you feel like they are too being inquisitive. They're trying to learn. One of them stands up in a very plain, gray looking outfit and stands up and says, "Hello. Who are you?"
She'll grab the chalk on the necklace and the chalkboard around her neck.
He puts his hand up again, touches his chest, and says, "Greetings, Savannah. My name is He Who Is Many. Are you related to the people from the boat?" He walks forward towards you. He stays a little over a arm's length away, and he says, "It is okay to not know. All things are learned. That is the one thing that I can tell you. Do you want to help me help these others? And then I can help you." He reaches his hand out.
I just looks at it.
He smiles back and says, fair enough. And he kind of shows you a direction as if he's letting you either walk in front of him or walk beside him.
Beside him. She'll kind of just fall into step.
You walk side by side and you see a being that looks nothing like anything you've seen before. I mean, it almost looks, if it wasn't constantly twitching and moving and had these very shimmering wings that tend to flutter almost like they're a response, almost could look very similar to you, except for everything covered. Um, the carapace is a dark, almost metallic blue. And they seem to be agitated and also clutching almost like a bag very protectively. This you can read very easily. There is a old human lying on the ground. There is another older human lying on the ground. One is is not functioning. The other one is also not functioning, except for their eyes are open. But there's just, you see no cognition there. You see what you think is a human, because frankly, Drott basically said anything taller than Drott is probably human. So that's your point of reference, except for the small loud one who was a tiny human. And this human apparently has sprung a leak and is leaking its fluids from its stomach area everywhere. What a mess.
I have nothing to plug it.
You look down and you see there's quite a bit of rags that they've attempted to plug it with, cloth material, but it's just, you're not sure where all the liquid is coming from, but apparently this human is choosing to lose it. The entity who has named himself He Who Is Many turns and looks at you and says, are you able to heal? Do you have skills to repair? He shakes his head and he says, okay. Do you have equipment with you? Do you have items, tools?
She's going to walk back to where the belt of tools was on the lower half of Father and retrieve them.
He looks at you and he just goes, kind of looks quizzically for a moment. And then he goes, oh, did you know the bosun, the Drugar? He stands up and he puts his hand on your shoulder. He says, I am very sorry. And when you put your head up, he pulls his hand away as if he doesn't know if he's offended you or not. Where were you?
She'll point at the door.
Well, the door's not there now. It's just a hole.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nothing there.
Just the hole.
He looks at you. I want you to make me a insight check.
That's a 7.
This This life form is complicated because he just rushes past you and starts touching around the hole. And then he looks back at you a few times and then he just climbs in the hole. You look over and you just see this mess. It's like looking at parts in Father's workshop. What a mess.
Can I take the belts part off of like the tool belts and try to tighten it around where the leak is? Try to stop the leak.
You can, for
Okay.
sure. So you know that fleshy organisms don't have a strong carapace.
Mhm.
So you also turn and look at the odd one. And before you do that, they kind of lean over this leaking body and they vomit all over they expel fluid all over this. And then they
From the
hurl
wrong
back away
hole. Yes.
Yeah. From one of their orifices. And you hear this noise. It's a lot like when Father cleans something with chemicals. You can hear it, and then you start to see this area bubble and sizzle. And from the intense red all around it, now it's far more opaque and far less of the red oil is coming out. But then it starts to again. So you pack these rags in and tighten, and you hear this noise, this of these wings on this strange being. And then you hear a voice come from them. Are you here to help the fleshy one? Where did Minnie go? The, the skinny bald one. He is friend. He helps Hive survive. You are not them. They tilt their head and look at you. Different. Like Nargaz, different. No Hive? Hmm. She bows her head, puts her one arm is a long, the closer you see, it's now just like this longer chitinous. You notice like there's a hand inside of it, but it's like the growth off of her arm, like a sword. She bends and crosses. She says, no Hive. And then she leans down. She opens the sack a little bit, and you see it. It's almost like not raggy cloth that they make. This is something else, which is intriguing to you because this is a different material. And the first thing you think of is like Father and I would be able to take this, would look at this, maybe take it apart and figure out what it is. What is this? Like your mind kind of starts to spin that way. And you see orbs inside of it, glowing a soft bluish light. And she closes it back up, and you can see some of this stuff kind of come out of her mouth and almost seals the sack again. And she says, hi. You understand, hi. Family.
She'll point at the remains of her father.
She looks and tilts her head. Oh, different hive, same hive. She looks like she's trying to figure out how to explain it. It's hard to get a read on her what she's thinking because she doesn't have the same type of facial expressions that even you have built into your face. I mean, it's just mandibles and big eyes. Turns and looks, and then kind of looks around for a moment and then looks back and says, different. Different, one hive. And then she looks at you and points at you and says, different, one hive. She points out her bag and says, different, one hive. Protect. She nods very slowly and deeply, very solemnly. And then she crawls over and she puts her bag like between you two and then starts helping you with the body on the ground. All right. Back to Eric. Eric, you are just had your wonderful Christmas moment.
Really
And
good moment.
now and now Nigella has set up and she kind of grabs I can't remember the name of Flammy Bone Dog all of a sudden. Flambe. Um and he turns and looks at her and then looks at you and then looks at her and then sits back down again. And she says, oh, where's Charity? Where'd she go?
I don't know. What has got here?
Oh man, I feel like I just died and came back
Maybe you did.
and then died again.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Oh.
weird stuff going on. Yeah.
She looks
a
over
real.
and the dog like licks her face and there's just a line of soot where its tongue went across. And she like blinks up and she's like, you were with them, right? Know them. They're like my siblings. You know them, but you're not. I don't know you, so you're not one of my siblings. Oh my
No.
gosh, what is going on? And she looks up behind you and sees the big orb. Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. The don't worry though, the orb is good. It's a good orb.
I think
There's a lot of bad orbs, so
I think Charity. I think Charity went into that thing.
probably. She's not around. I haven't seen her.
But if you go into it, you die.
Well, I don't have a good answer for you about that. She's not here though.
She looks over and sees like Valia and this thing just colliding energy, and she goes, "That's also not good.
Yeah, I feel like I really need to address that, honestly.
We have to go help her."
Yeah, no, I know. My sword is compelling me to do so, as well as my own internal sense of honor. So,
She looks up at you and she reaches out and she grabs a clasp that holds her cape on.
hey,
And pulls
what are
it
you
off.
doing?
She spits on it and just shines it up.
Why are you like this?
I'll give it back. I promise. She runs over, she jumps over and grabs the tall woman in red, and they just both blank out.
I'm not going to get that back.
And then you hear your clasp fall and jangle onto the ground. Like,
Oh, me of little faith. Go to fix it up. Well, that was easy.
Flambe looks and goes, "Aw."
Sorry, scary fire dog.
She is gone. You have freed us.
Yeah, I did. I did do that. You
Jury,
hear that, sword?
you hear jury say, "Do not lie."
I was here for it.
Be truthful. Tell them.
I didn't do it. Okay, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was going to do it, and then they disappeared.
But you can tell them you helped because you did.
I did help.
We did help. You can
Okay.
tell them we helped. Give me some credit.
We helped. My sword would like to know you to know that they helped as well. So
Your sword.
yeah,
Very old.
I get that vibe. Yeah.
But still lacks the maturity to move on. Perhaps together you will be able to do that.
You saying you should help my sword die?
The jury goes, I don't like this level of honesty is too much. So it starts to spread out a little bit. And what you now realize you're looking at is like a half, God damn it, Nate, like a half circle. And it's like a chorus of these bodies. And it's these beautiful human-esque female and male heads, very regal looking and almost so beautiful they're hard to look at, on the bodies of like equine forms, different animals. Um, they're all wearing like almost like what would those be? They're like a bridal blankets, but they look super ornate and out of material that you're just like, that's like master craftsmanship there. It's incredible. And they're all speaking at once. You have freed us from a prison we've been in for time untold. You have eliminated the Red Lady, whether permanently or for the interim. She is no longer here and can no longer support her own magics. Is there a way we can repay you, Eric of Pasadena?
Do you want to move on, sword? Sounds like they can help you with that.
That's a lie. I mean, well, it's not a lie. It's just someone else's opinion.
Are you lying to me?
I'm not
Did you just lie
lying.
to me?
I'm just
Did you
saying
lie?
I said it's an opinion. I don't agree with that opinion. You know,
Well, there's one way to find out.
everyone has swords. Some are just bigger than others.
Feels like you're talking about something else, but okay.
Now you're having an opinion.
I'm allowed to have opinions. I have a lot of opinions.
Listen, my work here is not done.
Okay.
Why would I want to move on when I can help you?
I mean, you don't have to convince me. I can't help you move on. I don't know.
Good. I feel like we're making an excellent partnership.
These pretty horse people know how to do it. So
they're the Shadu. Show them the proper respect.
That's a compliment where I come from. There's a whole industry built around.
Are you lying now?
Pretty horse people where
Eric,
I come from.
Eric, are you lying?
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Well, they want to know what you want. What do you want?
I don't know. I didn't do anything. Now I'm worried about being honest.
Might I make a suggestion?
Yeah, can you give me like a price range for what I should ask for here?
Well, looking around, we're in the basement of a building falling apart, and all I've seen is my former owner die horribly, along with many of their siblings. How about safety? I feel like safety might be a good thing to ask for, Eric.
Okay, that feels broad. It feels like they give me like a life preserver, and that would seem to be a waste. So
that's true.
Yeah. Should I ask for?
I've never done well with these wish things.
Okay.
I still say safety. I mean, take a chance.
Can they help people come back?
I mean, I assume so. As you guys are thinking, You get knocked over by Flambe
Okay, hi. I don't know you. Can you go away? Thank you.
and knocks you out of the way of a giant falling piece of stone from above.
All right, I was a little quick to judge there. Thank you for the
Oh.
save.
We should probably figure out something because I think this place is falling apart. Also, you dropped your shield.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
You go to drop your shield and Flambe grabs it and just starts shaking it like a dog toy.
Fine. Can you give me the shield?
Mm.
Give.
Hmm.
Give.
Trots over and then steps like 2 feet away from you and just holds it in its mouth.
Grab it.
You pull back and forth. And
Okay, there's like rocks falling. You just saved me from rocks. So maybe we can play later.
your shield
Play-
explodes.
You broke it.
And in its place is standing the Red Lady and Nigella, like on her hands and knees, breathing hard. And her and the bosom again begin to have magic fights. And she looks down at you and she says, "Thank you for buying me enough time to replenish my energies. Now I'll put this thing back where it belongs and get us all out of here. You're not one of mine, but I figure I can take you in for now."
It's like, you blew up my shield, lady. You know how expensive? That's rare. That was the only one. You broke it.
Make me a perception check.
Six.
Something's wrong with you. And not just the fact your shield blew up.
Aaron, new please.
What'd you say?
So like physically, or
You feel real weird.
really weird.
And
Sword, are you making me feel weird?
no.
Are you making me feel weird?
No, but now I
Red
feel.
lady?
Now you're making me feel weird.
I'm just asking around.
Nigella
Someone's
looks
making
up
me
and
feel
she
weird.
goes, she's like looks dazed and she goes, "Hey, you're glowing." And Flambe jumps on top of her.
Like to cover her, like protectively, or to like attack, or but
Just
a lot of
happy
ways
to
that
see her
could.
back.
What?
Just happy to see her back.
Oh, okay. What do you mean I'm glowing?
You look down and you're glowing.
Oh, well, literally. Okay. Is
Your
it like a
entire-
radiant glow or like what?
So, for terms of explanation, your shield has exploded and you have taken on shards of it. You can now cast mage armor 3 times a day, or 3 times per long rest.
So
So you no longer need the shield because you are the shield.
I am the shield.
And every time you do, your same symbol that's on your chest that was on your shield lights up and glows really brightly.
Okay. Well, hey, mean red lady, you're really messing things up here, and I'd like for you to leave. So if you could just do that.
She turns and looks at you, and she has a porcelain face that actually moves. You can see all these little gears, grinding gears, and turns up at you and she says, "Silence." And you
No, I
realize,
need you to go.
make me a whiz saving throw.
Okay. 26.
Oh, damn. You're like, you could feel you get hit by this spell. And between you and the armor, you kind of slough it off. And you're like,
Yeah, don't do that again. Yeah, if you could just go, you could go somewhere else. You could just stop existing, whatever it is that'll keep
I'm
make you,
trying to save you, you idiot.
from what?
Petulant child.
From what? What are you trying
Know
to save
your
me from?
place. Sit down.
No,
Be quiet.
you be quiet.
She's like trying to have this conversation and still trying to battle this.
This is a good
Green.
orb. I'm friends with this orb. So if you could just fuck off, then that would be great. Puts a gold coin in his little swear jar.
It's a little square patch
A little
around.
swear.
Twig, you've made it up to where Amulet is, and you guys are making your way. You're to the porculus. Amulet, you've been holding this for a long time. Twig, you gonna go through?
Okay, I'm gonna slide under.
You don't have to slide on her. You can walk on her. Now, Amulet, what are you
Sweating a
gonna do?
little.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna jump, like roll under and let go. Jump away.
Make me an acrobatics check, please.
Sweet. God, I'm good at rolling 11s today. That's a 13.
Good enough. You slide under. It slams behind you. You can hear the sound of bones clashing further down the hallway.
Oh, I was
Is
hoping you
there-
were gonna say in the porculus, like people like were running at me and they ran into it and smashed. Now there's bones everywhere.
No.
Is there like a switch or a lever for the portcullis on this side?
Yes, there is.
I'm gonna flip it so it opens,
Okay, it stays open.
just in case we have to run away.
That's true.
You
I'm
make
a
your way
fu-
down. You make your way up a set of stairs going up, and you see the pieces of your soldiers.
Oh no.
The top of the stairway is this bizarrely shaped forearm skeleton holding one of the arms of your skeletons.
Remind me to pour one out for my homies later.
Ugh, now there's 5-armed skeletons.
Roll an ish.
No, I didn't even think about that.
As I say that, can I cast Eldritch Blast before initiative?
No, but I rolled a 1
Okay.
again. I'm sure you're gonna go before me.
See, I rolled an 8, so that is
More than me.
16, 19.
18.
So yeah, you can do your Eldritch Blast.
All right, so let's see. That'll be 2 blasts. So that is 19 and 11.
Yeah, both. No, the 11 misses.
Okay. 1d10, which is this one. That is 7 damage.
Amulet, you're up.
So are his extra arms the arms from my skeletons?
No, he's holding one extra arm from you.
Okay.
This thing has 4 arms.
Sweet. Each of my attacks are gonna try to lob off an arm.
Fair.
I'm gonna try to even the playing field. Oh, maybe one good. One's a 19,
Hit.
one's a 13.
13 hits.
Sweet.
I don't know. He has 4 arms. We have 4 arms. That's pretty even.
One for 10 and one for 16.
It explodes. Make me another dex saving throw.
I still have those at advantage. I'm really good at rolling 11s. 13.
You take
Dice and my
1 point of
11s.
damage.
How do I half one? Or is that half of?
You round up, so it's still 1.
Okay. I can do halves on my sheet. I can do math, I promise.
You look up and you're in a big room, which looks like it's like got a bunch of pistons kind of in it. And there's one single spiral staircase that goes up, and it's a tight spiral.
Can I fit tight or like
Yeah, you can fit. It's tight though, like a taiga.
Twig, you want to go first or last?
I want to look around here first.
Okay.
Is there any junk on the ground, or is it pretty clean?
No, there's junk everywhere. This place is a mess.
Um,
Skeletons are not known for their fastidiousness.
Can I like throw some junk into the pistons to try to mess them up?
Oh, good plan.
And
Excellent.
make me a percentage roll.
All right. This one.
When I see what he's doing, can I help?
Yeah, you guys can both just trash this room if you want.
Yes. trash it, I'm gonna kick
Um,
things and throw things.
So are we going for low or high on this?
You're just
All
going
right.
for numbers, Nate. I'm not telling you.
I already rolled. It's a 29.
29. You did some damage here because this thing kind of halts and seizes a little bit before kind of herky jerky continuing to move. But you don't see a whole lot else to break now. You guys have done a pretty good job breaking stuff.
Ugh.
I like breaking things.
Like this stairwell you think takes you directly up into the chest.
We
All
think
right.
keep going.
Yeah, hopefully we can find the headquarters.
Okay, let's go.
God damn you, Nate. You head up and
Wait. If the headquarters aren't in the head, I might be disappointed though. Like, what if they're like in the neck?
I don't know. I'll think of something.
Okay.
All right. You head up and you come into a room. It's a wide, it's not a tall room, it's a wide room though. And in the center of it is a helm chair, much like Twig, what you've been in. But in the center of it is just spinning a black circle that looks like it's black nothingness.
All right. I thought I knew what I could do, but now I'm real confused. What is that?
So
You
Did there-
don't so much hear the voice, but you feel it. It says, I remember you too. You were there when I was killed. You were there when the boy murdered me after I'd delivered so much to them. This is my reward. I am now a prophet of anti-life. I have
Just-
spread their words across the cosmos until they make their way to the blind eternities.
Why don't you just die?
They'll leave everything a smoldering ruin of nothing. I'm very happy to see you again, Twig. It's too bad the boy isn't with you.
Now I'll have to kill you with just me and Amulet.
I'm not killable any longer. I've been gifted the ability to see how this all ends. And though I sit in utter agony for the remainder of the life of the multiverse, I at least get to see my work completed. Which is far more than I can say for you.
Well,
I want everyone to make me a perception roll, please.
Jeez.
ugh.
Yeah, isn't a number.
No, it's 11. That's pretty ugh.
Rolling me numbers.
Yeah.
I have 12 that time.
Well, I mean, everybody. Eric, Savannah, what did you guys get? Kitty.
There's a kitty. Other side. Other side.
Eric and Savannah, what did you guys roll?
2 kitties.
Can you guys hear me?
Eric and Savannah are on mute.
I was muted. That's why you couldn't hear me. I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Actually, I rolled a 6, but turned
You're
out
a
to
little
be-
bit preoccupied right now.
Yeah, kind of.
Savannah, what'd you roll?
Sorry, my mute was stuck. 16.
16. So Twig and Emil, what'd you guys get again? I'm sorry, I blanked out for a second.
11.
11, 12, yeah. So you guys are all involved in some serious business right now. Savannah, as you're doing this, you hear this Well, it sounds like um the noise that's old Django and Boba's little bomb makes when it goes off. That kind of boom. And you stand up and you look around the side of the wreck, and he who is many pokes his head outside of the hole, and you see this massive rip in space, and black just starts leaking out everywhere, and two massive zombie goats come roaring out pulling a chariot, and behind is just a regimented army of the dead. Amulet and Twig back inside. The being formerly known as Poltlish says, "So how would you like for me to end you?"
Slowly over a period of wait, no, that's probably not a good idea. You're just gonna stretch it out.
What's option B?
Well, I can just absorb you into the darkness. You two can see the truth between the blind eternities.
Okay, what's option
Then
C?
there is no option C.
How about if, like,
This is
when
where
we're
yours-
100?
This is when your stories end.
Oh,
But you got, remember, you received chapters before the entire book.
What's that even mean?
All things are ending, girl. I herald the end of everything.
Well, score. Can I see? I want to see the full ending then.
Rest assured, you do not.
But what if I want to? What if I ask nicely? What if I say pretty please?
The black, just nothingness orb starts to sprout limbs.
Is there anything on the ground around me?
I mean, it's just debris.
It's so he's just like a floating nothing, right?
He was, now he's becoming a floating something.
can I cast Hex on him?
Yes, of course.
Excellent. I will do that.
What do I need to do with that date?
Oh, I just get to deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, even better.
Oh, and he has a. Oh, I don't like that. He has disadvantage on ability checks, or we'll say dex.
Perfect. I need you both to make me a Constitution saving throw.
That's 10.
Oh, I have advantage on that too. Oh, that's a good roll. 18.
Not enough.
What?
Hey, this is big leagues, kids.
Apparently, geez.
Oh,
You
shoot.
both take 9 points of necrotic damage and are both at disadvantage.
On what? Everything?
Everything.
Jeez. All right. Well, that's what I'm used to.
Um,
Now legs start to sprout out as if it's just birthing itself out of this blackness.
I am going to look at him and I'm gonna go be like, hey, I don't have time for you. I don't have time for this. I got friends to find. You're just being a piece of poop. And I'm gonna cast vicious mockery on him.
Okay.
So wisdom saving throw. I'm sure he's gonna be good at this, but
Not
Worth
as
a
good as you think.
worth a shot.
What's the
Oh,
number?
you got to beat a 14.
I do not beat the 14.
You do not beat a 14. That means you take 2d4 psychic damage, which is 5. And he has disadvantage on his next attack roll.
Okay.
5 psychic. I'm hurting his feelings.
Yeah, okay. He'll take that.
Should we roll initiative?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything else as he's still forming?
I want to do so many things.
Well, this is your chance. Do those so many things. Do all of your things now.
Oh,
Alright.
I don't think
Well.
any of those things will make a difference, but
I'm just going to Eldritch Blast to see what will happen. Oh, so that's 24 and 9, which I'm assuming 9 doesn't hit.
9 does not hit.
All right. Does the 24 hit?
Yeah, 24 hits.
All right. Oh, geez. 2 force damage. And then I'm also going to do the necrotic damage, which is 5, and we'll see what happens there.
You could see like the light of your spell kind of split off and actually kind of light up slightly against the blackness. When the necrotic portion of it goes into effect, it actually absorbs the light and it just continues to get bigger. Now it's formed actual arms and legs, and it's slowly like pushing itself into a body to stand up.
can I try to chop it
Yeah,
in half?
you can do that.
I don't know if it's going to do anything, but I kind of doubt it. My lowest is 13 and my highest is a 18
18 hits.
for 17.
You hit it, and you've got a magic weapon, correct?
Yes.
You hit it, and you can't cut through it. You just kind of get banged backwards from it. You think you did damage, though.
Okay. Can
You hear a voice, and it says, "Die." Both of you make
Shit.
con saving throws.
You're not trying to power word kill us, are you? I'm
14?
scared. Here's the thing. I got a 21 and I'm still scared it's not going to work.
21's the save. That's the number you need.
Are these also disadvantaged, though?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Well, I see. Okay. I have to roll again then because I rolled at advantage because I have advantage. But if I have disadvantage, that means I have a straight roll. So I got to roll again. Unless you want to just pick a dice and tell me left or right. I can tell you what number it is.
No, just reroll.
This could be bad. Yep. That's a 17.
Okay. You both take 21 points of necrotic damage. You're both frightened and stunned.
Okay, 21. Can I use a reaction?
No, you're stunned.
Okay.
You see this thing, you get to both look on in horror as this thing formulates fully out of darkness. It's so big, it's almost on one knee just to stay within the room. It's completely featureless black face. 4 large horns going backwards. Its hands look like onyx blades. They're so big and long, but there's just an ephemeral. I can't say that word. There's it's very all of a sudden the words just ran away from me in a different direction. I can't.
Ephemeral?
Ephemeral would be a good word I was trying to think of, I think. It doesn't look like it's even fully formed. And you can kind of, when it gets close, it looks at both of you, and you can see that in the blackness of the face, there's just a bunch of eyes, and they're so black that you can see a reflection in them. It says, And now we end your story. Meanwhile, Akko, you wake up the next day and Baz is waiting for you.
Hi, Baz.
Says, Akko, I think we should have a talk.
Okay. Can't
This is the
do
first time you've
anything
been
else.
out of the house for a few weeks.
Well,
And he takes you outside. He takes you a little bit further away on your home to where there's not much buildings. And he says, sit with me, Akko.
Echo sits.
And he lies back on the ground and beckons you to do so. Puts his hands behind his head, looks up. You look up and you see more land above you. I think you should be looking at the sky, but what you're looking at is more land.
Where'd Sky go?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, Akko. I haven't been completely honest with you.
What?
You see, sometimes it can be a shock for people. It can be a lot. And I like to, when I am the host for people, help them acclimate. Just so happened you were from a family of believers who lived their lives correctly, and this was their reward. And it's your reward too. Akko, my boy, and he reaches over and pats you on your stomach and says, you're dead.
What? No. Wrong. Not dead.
Dead.
Don't be dumb. Not
Welcome
dead.
to
My,
Bitopia. We'll go through
my
the rules.
Topia?
Yeah. Heaven above and heaven below.
Triple heaven?
Triple heaven.
Whoa.
Hunting's all you could dream. It's pure land. And you get to live your afterlife with your family. That's your reward.
Wait.
And eventually, if you decide, you can be a partitioner. You can serve them animal spirits themselves, like I do.
Wait. Family dead too?
They are.
What happened?
That's not
So
my
strong.
Story. That's not my story to tell.
It looks really sad.
On the bright side, you'll be able to get around on your own soon. And then we'll have to have a different sort of talk. Because while this is heaven, it doesn't mean it's boring. All right, back on Storm Song. Charity, you come to and you're being carried. Make me an insight check. Really quick.
Okay.
No, perception check. I'm sorry.
Perception check. That's going to be a 13.
These people who are carrying you, you know them. They're other students.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
This being leans down and squats in front of you and says, well, I mean, got to start the revolution somewhere. You kind of squint your eyes, and it's Ragesh. He says, these young people have just chosen to get on board with the changes around
Well, they were always kind of stupid, so that makes sense.
here. That makes me sad you'd say that.
Mm.
I'd hoped that seeing some of my grand design would change your mind. He walks you out of the kind of gilded hall or hallway, and there's a door. and it's just this part of this building is just beat to hell. There's when you look very carefully, you can see fingernails stuck in the brick. You can see where people have tried to not go in this room. And above it, in painted letters, it says the Smile Room. And Ragesh says, "You see, Charity, I just want you to get on board. And since you wouldn't do so willingly, where I could have fostered you and helped you grow and given you whatever you wanted, now I'm just going to have to do it a different way. Kind of like how I did with your buddy Anon. Just I don't have to wait a few hundred years to do it.
What part of what part of I came back to talk to you are you not understanding? Do I need to speak in a language you understand? Like meow 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 meow? Does that help?
Well, I think if you want to have a conversation with me, we'll have it. We'll have one, but we'll have one when I feel like you've learned the severity of your situation.
Oh, come on. You're not even my real dad. Get over it.
He just kind of chuckles, almost chuffs like a tiger does. Opens the door, and they bring you into this tiny, tiny room. I mean, it's barely enough room to sit. And there is a screen in front of you, like not a screen so much as like a panel of glass. And you can see more of your classmates just being indoctrinated horrifically. And you're sitting in this room and you realize they're just going to make you watch this over and over and over again. And that's when you hear a tiny voice. So, sorry I didn't do much earlier, but as your third best friend, I thought it better if I kept things slightly under wraps. We don't want to give away all of our tricks at one time, you know? Third best friend. I bet you forgot I was even with you when you threw your body into that thing that was going to kill us.
What did you do?
Well, Charity, I made a wish.
For what?
Well, why don't you say my name and we'll find out together?
Magnar.
There is a massive explosion, and that's where we're going to end.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So why don't you guys go around the table and tell people where they can find you, who you be with, what you're up to, your plans for the future in 5 years, stock tips, you know, the regs.
All right. Well, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at CubicleZombie. I don't know about 5 years, but my plan for tomorrow is to be on this very channel playing some fun Drakewind Falls with Ryan and our other buddies.
On a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday, not a regularly scheduled
Going
day.
head to head with Tiny Mang? Are you crazy?
Yeah, we're gonna fuck you up.
It's Tiny.
I'm not on, so it doesn't
It's Tiny
matter.
Mang without the king. So you know what? It won't worry about it.
Yeah, we got big baby teases this week.
So,
Suckers.
so
Yeah.
heated. Good.
Tiny Mang with no king and no big baby teases.
Hey, apparently we're not needed.
Oh,
No matter
my
what the
goodness.
merchandise says.
I am Shannon. You can find me on social media at Tangled Adventurer. Follow me online for all sorts of gaming and weirdness and Disney nerdery. Also, I'm just going to interject something real quick. If I'm quack. Good Lord. It's been a day. I want to give a quick shout out, if I may.
Of course, always.
If you're looking to donate to a good cause right now, my recommendation is minnesotatransgenderhealth.org. So you can find them at mntransgenderhealth.org/donate if you have a little bit of cash that you want to spend. Given current circumstances, there's a lot of us out there with uteruses that are not necessarily women who could definitely use some help. So I want to give a shout out to them. If you are in a giving mood, please consider donating. If you're not, like, spread the signal, like share the signal through the multiverse. Maybe without the help of a Rakshasa, because he's a real dick.
Generally they are. I think in there right up in
Yes.
the DMG it says also total dick.
Total dick. That's canon. That's real. That happened.
Checks out.
Oh boy, I'm Cassandra. You can't find me anywhere but here every 2 weeks. So come back in 2 weeks. I know you'll miss me.
You will miss me. I'm Warrior. You can find me at WarriorMN on the socials. In addition to seeing me here tomorrow night playing a very chill Minotaur along with Nate, Big Baby Jesus, and the rest of the cast. 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Is it Daylight Time? Standard Time? I don't know. Time.
Central
7.
Standard.
7. Just be here at 7. You can also check out. So this coming week, the Free Forge is putting on a charity event for Color of Change. It is the cast for the games that are being played are bananas. So if you want to check out B. Dave Walters, if you want to check out Dimples and Dice, Critical Bard, Connie Chang, tons of amazing talent. Check those out. I believe the DTRPGs start on Friday, May 13th. Everything, many of them are at 7. I think Saturday there's a game at 11 a.m. All Central Time. But things kick off this Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time with Among Us, hosted by Miss Mindykins, and I'll be on it. So come watch me murder my friends or get murdered by my friends.
Sus.
A little bit, actually, kind of similar vibe the last couple episodes,
right?
So like if you like this, go watch that. So that it's going to be at twitch.tv/thefreeforge. You can check them out on Twitter. There's a whole lineup of what's going on in the coming weeks.
If you are looking to donate to other great causes, Lady Christie and the Antagonizer, some of our pals from gaming and Extra Life, they're also raising money for pro-choice causes currently to continue the fight to keep the laws, the legality we have in place currently, which I don't want to get started on that. But I believe the Antagonizer is auctioning off games, meaning if you give a certain amount of donation, he will run a game for you, which is kind of buck wild. And as someone who's played in a bunch of games he's run, well worth the price.
It gets $25 for 4 people.
I believe.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, it's a good price.
That is an amazing price. Holy cow.
Yeah. Yep.
Y'all get on that. That's epic.
As well as, and I can't remember exactly the name of it, but you can find it on Kickstarter right now. There is an individual who is selling over $1,000 worth of STLs by various artists, and all the proceeds go to Feed Ukraine. It's $50. It's super cool. It's got some of the best, I think, 3D STL artists are working on it and putting out whole sets on there, and they're only asking for $50 donations. It's another supremely important cause. Again, it's one where you can make a donation and still get something out of it if that's more your jam. So other than that, I've got Bata Games on Thursday. We might play the Fermi Paradox. I'm not sure. We've got Prep School on Sunday. Matt Lind will be back because we're going to still be working on our World for Hard Times 1987, the post-apocalyptic, you play as 1970s professional wrestlers.
Hard
You-
on, baby.
And you actually, because Dusty died in 1985 because he figured out that Skynet was coming. So Dusty went first.
We're too close
It's
to the fun
based
today.
it's based on a comic book by, I think it's Ryan Starks. Like a 5-page zine thing he did, which is utterly amazing. So we've just taken that and extrapolated it like to the fact that El Santa, who died a couple years before that, was simply holding back all the magical enemies like the Sorcerer Supreme. And when he died, he didn't get a chance to train anyone. So now, like, Mexico is just full of monsters, where Lucha Libre guys are just constantly trying to deal with the fact it's full of the undead, vampires, zombies, you know. Yeah.
Sounds like we
Also,
need
yeah,
Hellboy
Rick
down
Rude
there.
just tagging people's wives on buildings. So we've got that going on. We still need to finish our other 2 parts of Star Wars. I've still got another Star Wars game with some other folks that I need to jump back on because there's another trilogy there. Some superhero business, Hellboy. Yeah. If people have other things that they would be excited to either play in or have us play, please let us know. Also, Chaos Scar, I'm slowly but surely getting the news out about that. I will be taking all comers. You contact me with a group of 4 adventurers and you pick a job, and I'll play for a night. If you don't finish the adventure in that night, tough, you went back to town. So someone else can swoop in and finish that job for you. But it is kind of like playing a video game. So the more you play, the more levels you get. So people can come up with different, you can play multiple characters, you can do whatever you want, but you need at least 4 to play. So yeah, that'll be going on as well. Otherwise, I got nothing. So thank you to my wonderful players. Thank you to anyone who takes the time to watch this in the here and now or later on the YouTubes. Thank you as well to the beard, Big Baby Teasus, who's out there somewhere doing tea things. And thank you as always to the first dude of his town, Casual Doug. Long may Randy reign. We're out. Bye.